Oogie Boogie can eat it. We found his stupid green door in the last episode. It was hiding in Hollow Bastion the whole time.
It's true. Randomly, there was this bootleg green door that came out of nowhere after we defeated Behemoth. I don't think it was even there when we went inside. Why did it have to be there for us to leave?
I don't know, because Sora was feeling lonely and he thought if he left it in the rain, it would get stronger.
Oh, anyway, this is our last touching dialogue with Leon and the gang.
Touching.
Aren't you gonna miss them?
No. I'll kind of miss Aerith, but I hate Leon, I hate his game.
Honestly, I'm not gonna miss any of them.
But Aerith's so nice, like, what did she do to you?
It's mostly like her voice actress in Kingdom Hearts 2 is just so... I don't think she's the same person. She sounds so dead. She's like,
actually,
it's great to see everyone again.
Actually, my best person to relate it to is, I've been watching some videos of Metroid Other M. That's the best actress, voice actress I can relate it to, because, like, literally Samus's voice in that game was like, from Adam's anger, he seemed very angry. He was shaking his fist at me in anger. I wonder what kind of emotion he was feeling.
Right, I heard the problem was, like, too much of the dialogue in the game was, like, self-explanatory. It was already going on, so why did you have to hear her narration behind it?
It was self-explanatory, and it's sort of just like, it's not the Samus you're used to, too.
We may
Here's
never
the
meet
Samus being
again.
a silent protagonist, and having her
We'll never
talk
forget
and be,
each
like,
other.
super submissive is really annoying.
It would be strange if Link was that way, actually, so I can understand where that's coming from.
Well, because you can't really characterize Link. Because the thing about that, the thing that makes Link good as a silent protagonist is he never actually goes on a hero's journey. Because technically, to go on a hero's journey, the hero has to refuse to call, and since Link doesn't have a voice, he can't refuse to call.
Well, I guess technically
Sora.
you can select no in order to say yes, but eventually you're gonna have to select yes, so...
Oh yeah, now we get to go back to the bootleg green door. Does it appear again? I hope so.
Let's watch carefully. I bet you it won't, actually.
It won't. It was
Nope.
just gonna be there for that one split frame.
Strange things in games that are used once and never again. So this is...
The real question is, why did Oogie Boogie hide the green door in Hollow Bastion?
And why did Maleficent entrust it to him?
Why did Maleficent trust anything to Oogie Boogie? He's literally just like a sack, a potato sack.
Why was Maleficent so sure this awful plan was actually gonna work?
I think she was tricked by the Heartless, and the Heartless are pretty stupid, so...
Yeah.
Well, they were smart enough to trick Maleficent, so what does it say about Maleficent? And considering in the next game they take orders from Pete, they must be really stupid.
Yeah, the Heartless aren't exactly the smartest bunch. Just a bunch of sluggers, really.
Oh yeah, so when you look at Oblivion, do you see like the Kingdom Key? Because like a lot of people say, oh, it looks just like the Kingdom Key but black. I kind of see it, but I kind of don't.
Honestly, it looks a lot like Pumpkinhead. I think it looks almost the same.
Yeah. The only thing I can see about it is like I can sort of see like just by the design, like just the two things sticking out on the top and then like the help design a similar way.
Oh yeah, there was something I was going to say earlier when you're talking about the hero's journey and Link. This is kind of off topic, but I did see a video that was actually kind of good and gave Link a bit more characterization, saying, you know the idea about the placebo effect
Yeah.
and medicines that don't actually work?
Yeah.
I forget exactly in what context they were explaining, but they basically said that red, green, and blue potions and stuff like that don't actually do anything, and Link had the strength inside him the whole time. It was something to that extent, but it made him a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I guess. My only issue with that is I don't think that witches would get away with just selling straight up water.
Actually, they possibly could. I mean, who's really going to inquire about like a random hag in a swamp? That's not legit at all to begin with.
True.
But the reason we're going back to Hollow Bastion is because there's a new place which has opened up, and it's quite dangerous. And before you go there, it's recommended that you return to the library because there's actually some stuff you can do. Leon's crew hangs out around here.
And we're skipping past Belle again.
Because we're never going to get that Keyblade, it's not going to change now. I'm an idiot. This is obviously post, if you couldn't tell.
It's the rest of Ansem. Why does Maleficent have Ansem's report if she's working for Ansem?
Shouldn't Ansem have his own report?
I don't know. Maybe he kept it in his library. That isn't actually his library.
Actually, I kind of wonder how much Maleficent knew about Ansem. I'm assuming that they had some kind of deed because he is hanging out around Hollow Bastion in his little cloak.
Actually, I think that's just him passing through corridors of darkness. I don't think Maleficent actually knows who he is. I think the most she knows who he is by reading the reports in this library.
Oh, this is where they were kept to begin with?
Because think about it, it is Ansem's library, and we're not exactly dealing with Ansem. We're dealing with the regular Ansem that's voiced by Sauron, essentially.
Saruman.
Yeah, him. And basically, I think that the most she knows of Ansem is the guy who wrote the reports on the Heartless.
Anyway, Billy Zane is a much better.
Billy Zane here.
awesome voice in this game. I know that for Zemnis and the other people, they use some other voice actor who is just not as cool. But anyway, there's going to be a cut. Because we're at Traverse Town for the last time, just getting our equips ready for the last expedition to the final level. Some people would recommend going through the Hades Cup first, but the truth is, I think that you're going to be a little bit overpowered if you go through the Hades Cup first.
It's true.
So, believe it or not, I'm saving that for post-credits. So there's going to be some post-credits content. Spoiler, not really at all, because I just told you.
Whatever. Hades Cup's always fun.
Yeah, it was the way I decided to go through it, just so I wouldn't have such an easy time breezing through End of the World. There's some people that prefer to go after the optional bosses and stuff first, but I did want to have a slightly more balanced approach. Like, you know, balance is important to me the way I played through Pikmin 2 without purples.
Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't want to do the Hades Cup first. It makes sense.
Oh yeah, and by the way, I love this next world. And I actually left the gummy ship stage in just so you could see how it gets a little bit more difficult. I did speed it up. But yeah, first go to Hollow Bastion. Obviously don't go in. And select the final furthest point on the map. And best of luck. Don't get hit too many times. And at long last, we get to this weird pink-looking galaxy thing. Looks like some kind of dessert.
It's obviously the Toy Time Galaxy, or the Icy Ice Cream Galaxy.
Let's not ruin this. This is an epic final level.
It actually looks really cool from the design on the outside.
I think End of the World, right, End of the World is actually my favorite level in this game, and it's possibly my favorite last level in any game. Reasons why, kind of complicated to explain, but I guess you'll see. Basically, it was good to know there was something else after Hollow Bastion.
True. I will admit, like, why did you just zoom in on Goofy?
I don't know. It scares me whenever he's there. If I turn around and you look straight into his face because he's supposed to stand right next to you, always freaks me out.
End of the world.
Of course, this is not the literal end of the world. It's like it's like the furthest point of the world, more like. Or is it potentially both?
I think this is a world like comprised
Those worlds
of all
will be
worlds,
restored
the
if we
Heartless
beat
destroyed.
Ansem, right?
Yeah, you see that a little bit further on once you start seeing the memories or whatever.
If we do beat him,
Yeah.
and all
But-
these worlds
Nah,
become
never mind, I'll
restored
say
and
that comment
disconnected,
later.
Oh, okay.
what's gonna happen to
But
this place?
what's going to happen
And
to
to
this
us.
place and to us?
You're
No
gonna
one
be
cares.
perfectly fine.
Oh no, what an unhappy duck. Too bad nobody cares.
You can actually jump on top of some of the large rocks, like, to the side of where you start off. There's no point in doing so, but I remember the first time I played this game and got to this level, I kind of dragged things out, and End of the World took me like 4 hours to finish.
First time I played this game, I actually barely got through it. Like, couldn't figure out how to get past this room.
Oh, I remember, right.
You're right.
You were stuck there for a long time because of the invisible walls, and they don't explain how that works
Oh,
either.
Yeah, the stupid invisible walls. I
promise.
hated those.
The truth is, it's not that hard because the ground that you can see forms arrows that point you in the direction you have to go.
10-year-old me couldn't figure that out, though.
Although, admittedly, it does get confusing later because the arrows start lying. So this level's real cheap, in other
They're
words.
just like, gotcha, not here.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair if you give people a hint, like, okay, later on they're going to start betraying you, but if you don't let them know, they're never going to get through your level. So it's kind of weird how they expected... Then again, it's kind of weird how they would expect kids to get far in Kingdom Hearts. It's kind of a hard game.
And here are some things that look like they belong in Sleeping Beauty, honestly.
Oh, you think so?
They just kind of give me that sort of feeling, I guess.
They're kind of cool. They have like the standard Final Fantasy like last enemy look.
Oh my god. Remember, oh my god, the stupid cars from the game. They're so dumb.
They're actually harder than these, I think, personally. Hot rods, that's what they're called.
No one can be Captain Dark in the racist though.
These are, what are they? Invincibles? Or invisibles?
Invisibles, I think.
Yeah, and then there's some kind of kanji or something written on their swords that means something that I can't understand.
It probably just says Phantom Ganon.
Well, Phantom Ganon's sword did have that thing written on it that said, the name of the blacksmiths that make swords of Majora's Mask.
Ah.
Always a cool detail.
Obviously, they're evil.
They're evil if they were working for Phantom Ganon.
I wonder how you can work for Phantom Ganon if he's not real.
Let's not speculate about it too much. I think they've just figured it'll be a cool Easter egg. Like, it doesn't even have to make sense. It's like why Mario's portrait is inside the King of Hyrule's castle, Ocarina of Time.
I think the real question is why is Mario's portrait inside the castle in Luigi's mansion, which is actually a mansion.
Go to my favorites and click on Mario Broter. It's beautiful.